Okay, today we are speaking about how to stay creative when you are under the weather. So for the past 10 days or so, first my daughter had her first cold flu thing, and then I got it, and there were a bunch of other things that I couldn't postpone, which got me thinking how to stay on your creative game when you are sick or under the weather for some other reason. Now, my first takeaway is just stop. It is okay to take a break and rest. There are actually more important things than your art, believe it or not. So over the past couple of weeks, I skipped a couple design challenges I was planning to do, and I didn't make a lot of new art of any kind. But you know what? I still sold some art on Spoonflower. I also got a piece accepted into show at the museum I used to go to growing up. So that was such exciting news, and it all happened even though I wasn't actively doing anything for the past 10 days to quote unquote promote my art career or make new art. So, sometimes it really is okay to just stop and get better and take the time you need. And while I certainly don't want to just sit and rest on my laurels, for me, my health and especially the health of my daughter are more important than any art that I'm working on. Also, by letting myself rest a little, letting myself sit around and feel slightly guilty that I wasn't doing the art things that I wanted to be doing, I started to actually sit around and have some ideas bubbling that maybe I wouldn't have if I was just churning out the latest pattern for a design contest. And I started thinking about some ideas for a crossover between my pattern design and some of my more fine art. Those are just in the idea stage, but giving myself some time to physically rest but sit and think about my art was actually pretty useful. And did I start working on those ideas? Oh no, I was coughing, blowing my nose, all that good stuff. But I did make sure to write it down, and I put it on a sticky note and I put it up there so that I wouldn't forget it when things got busy. Now, my second main takeaway is while it is super good to let yourself rest and recover, don't let your recovery time turn into a 2-year hiatus. This might sound like an exaggeration, but I'm telling you, there's been so many times in my life, whether it be with art or something else, that I was doing so well and I was on a roll with it for months, even years, and then something got me off track and it turned into months or years where that thing didn't get back in my life. In fact, right now, I'm still struggling to get exercise back in my life after COVID that I had last October. I've been exercising regularly for 3 years, and now it's been a little bit of a challenge. Some of that was COVID, and then the move and packing up all of my stuff, and now being in an Airbnb, blah, 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 excuses, but you see what I mean, because now it's been many, many months. And I've exercised less than once a week when I used to exercise about 4 to 5 times a week. So do not let your recovery turn into a 2-year, 10-year hiatus. And how to make sure that doesn't happen? Well, I think it is still important to set some goals for yourself, especially when you realize you're getting off track. So for me, I just set a very simple goal, and that was just to make sure that I do enter one design challenge in the next month, just to make sure that doesn't happen. And now you don't have to ramp back up right away to your level of productivity before. I've talked about this before on this channel, and I know so many of us, especially those of us in the United States, this hustle culture makes us think that our value is based on how much output we are producing at any given time. But life, folks, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than your output. And while I really do value my life as an artist, we do need to find balance and make sure that we're thinking about our priorities and taking care of friends and family when they need us. And then besides making sure that I enter at least one design challenge in the next month, the other thing that I did is make sure to produce this video. You guys keep me really accountable. I know I'm going to show up here every week and talk about what I'm doing as an artist. So if I stop doing my art for a really long time, well, that's going to be pretty embarrassing. And also, I wanted to be authentic with you and share the good, the bad, and the ugly, and let you know, yeah, sometimes things get really off track for me too. I know when there's some episodes that I talk about just how much I'm doing and I'm doing it all and I feel like Superwoman. And that's maybe why this cold took me down so much, especially with moving across to New York and then going to LA and then coming back here. I guess it's no wonder that I got sick. So thank you for being my accountability partners. I'm glad you're here for another episode. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Aurora B. I talk about all things creative. I talk about my journey as an artist, what's working for me, what doesn't. If you like that kind of content, please consider subscribing. And everyone, please consider hitting the like button or the dislike button. And until next time, keep creating.